Hi everyone, it's Miss Diane from the Kinsman Free Public Library. I'm happy to be back at work and thought I would share a story with you today called Muncha 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 by Candace Fleming. So of course I've been working on a garden while I've been home, and I've started to see the bunnies and the chipmunks hopping around, and I'm hoping that they stay out of my garden. But chances are they're going to find some lettuce and start munching, just like at Mr. McGreely's garden. So for years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until this spring. He said, "This spring, my golly, I'm going to plant a garden." What would you plant in your garden? So he hoed and he sowed and he watched his garden grow. And somebody else was watching too, these three little bunnies. He planted lettuce, carrots, peas, and tomatoes. "Yum, yum, yummy," said Mr. McGreely. "I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies." But one night when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. And they hopped into his garden and muncha, muncha, muncha. They ate. Looks like his lettuce, maybe. So the next morning when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. That should keep them out. No bunny can get into my garden now. What do you think? Can they just hop over the fence and get inside? They've been watching this whole time. Do you see them there on the stone fence looking over at his garden? I bet they can't wait. So when the sun went down and the moon came up, tippy, 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 pat. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. They jumped right over the fence. Muncha, muncha, muncha. And they feasted on his veggies. So the next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. Wouldn't you be angry if somebody ate all your vegetables you just planted? So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. He huffed. "Those flop ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now." What do you think? Can they hop over that? Do you see them hiding? Here they are, watching his every move. And the sun went down and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Guess what? Muncha, muncha, muncha. They found his veggies. They must be really good. And the next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really, can you guess it? Angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it, and no bunny will get into my garden now. That should do it, don't you think? They're certainly not going to jump over the water and the wall and the fence to get to his garden. Are they really that hungry? Do you see the bunnies? Here they are, checking it out. How many of you think they're going to get over the trench and over the wall? Let's see. The sun went down, the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dive, paddle, splash, splash, splash. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. They climbed the wall and spring hurdle, dash, dash, dash. jumped right over the wall and the fence and muncha, muncha, muncha. They started eating again. Clever bunnies. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. Do you know what furious means? It means he was really, 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 really angry. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, and all around his vegetable garden. "I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure," he exclaimed. "They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now." What do you think? Would you be able to get inside? Where are those bunnies? Oh, I see them. They're on the roof. Maybe they could just climb his ladder right up over the top. So, of course, the sun went down and the moon came up and tippy, 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 stop! They found a lock. 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them. There it is. What is it? It's a lock. Tippy, tippy, pat. The bunnies hopped away. They weren't going to get inside today, so Mr. McGreely thought. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was so happy. Finally, he could enjoy them. "I beat the bunnies," he whooped in a jiggly-wiggly victory dance, and then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. But so did somebody else. Can you see what happened? While Mr. McGreely was doing his jiggly-wiggly dance, the bunnies hopped into his basket. Sighed Mr. McGreely. At last, he smacked his lips. He picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, and tomatoes. And with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. And what did he find? 3 bunnies munching on the carrots. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Boy, was he surprised. What could he do? Well, if you can't beat them, you join them. He sat down and he ate a carrot. And that is the story of Muncha Muncha Muncha. I hope you enjoyed our story today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.